So, welcome, guys. This is my first ever episode, and I am very happy that you're joining me on this journey of me sharing my own experience and joining my reality of life. And maybe you can, take something away from it, maybe not, but this is just my side of the story. And I made myself some nice peppermint tea, and I'm just going to talk about my life as if I'm gonna sit with a nice friend in a coffee shop. So yeah, let's dive into it. And something I think I want to talk about is how rapidly 1 year has transformed me. And I think last year truly, like, something inside of me broke open. And everything kind of started with me being in Australia, meeting up some friends, and just really being at a place where I felt like I kind of had an idea what I wanted to do, but it was very focused on what people would expect me to do. It was not really what I truly wanted to do from my soul's place, but more, oh, it would be cool to be a marketing manager of da 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 kind of thing. Like, I always knew that I'm not really meant to be in a 9 to 5 and like go into that path, but I don't know, I just felt like the only available path, to be honest. And I don't know, like, me being in Australia, like experiencing the beach again, experiencing life again, just opened me up. And I think the crack where it really was burst open was when I met someone in April, and he truly opened my eyes. In I don't think it was really like him, like what he said or who he was in a sense, but more the way he made me feel seen and heard. And this also showed me like how powerful it can sometimes be when you meet someone and you feel like they speak your soul's language and you don't have to translate it to someone. You just say something and it just makes sense to them. And I don't know, it was really interesting because he was in a place where he did his own thing, was traveling the world, doing his thing. And I don't know, it really felt like encountering with someone that is kind of like in my age and doesn't come from my background, but still is kind of like doing something that I haven't considered myself doing at that age, I would say. Because sometimes we have this barrier just that we create for ourselves, I think, being like, oh, like with 26, like I cannot just, do my own thing and start my own company and whatever. I mean, why not? Why can't I not do that? But my past version was truly like, no, I can't. Like, how am I supposed to do that? I have no experience, I have no clue how I'm supposed to start that. And yeah, I don't know, but just being around someone that is doing that exactly, like doing their own thing, really empowered me so much. And I also feel like the reason why this person didn't stay in my life was just because he was meant to just really crack me open. And that's something we always need to remember, is that sometimes even we wish someone could stay in our life, it's not meant to be. Maybe it is at another point or another place of time, but it is not right now. And maybe their sole purpose was to just come into your life and show you and redirect you into a new direction. Because honestly, ever since that time, I dream again. I want to do, like, I have the craziest dreams. I really want to do so many things, explore so many things. I really tap back into my creative energy. I love singing again. I love dancing. Like, I really love these things. I also love doing as a child, but I kind of like blocked myself from doing them because I always thought like, oh, like they're not going anywhere. Like, what am I supposed to do with me singing? For example, I was always like, me singing. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? That's just okay. I can sing quite good. I mean, that's just what I think. But now I'm like, wait, I don't have to be an amazing singer for whatever. I don't even have to have the dream of becoming a singer or a musician, but me allowing myself to be in the energy of creation and creating whatever I want with whatever tools I have. And if that would be, for example, like alchemizing everything that I've experienced or something in whatever way, in a form of music and writing a song and bringing that out there, that's also a beautiful way of expression. And yeah, it's sometimes it's so crazy how we can meet someone and they break us open into a completely new version of ourselves. And I think that's why sometimes we need to be really open with the people that we encounter with, because I don't believe that that needs to take a long time. It could also just be someone you encounter with for a week or a day, or you run into someone and they're saying something specifically to you and it's a stranger, but it cracks something open inside of you. They are opening a pathway for you that you thought was impossible. And for me, what happened after that was insane. I was truly going through a deep spiritual awakening. Like, I know that spiritual awakenings are like, you always feel them differently. Like, sometimes they're just like little peaks of something, or like something shifts and you already can tell, okay, like something in my reality has changed, and you can feel it in that way. But that was crazy. Like, now, even looking back to it, there were times where I knew my higher self was taking over. I remember there was one day where I woke up and everything looked different. Everything looked like super sharp, and I felt like I was walking through a movie. And the thing that happened was on that day I was taking like very bold steps. I was doing things that I was extremely afraid of and I wouldn't have done without someone else taking over. And it's like weird to say someone else taking over, but truly I felt like I was observing my experience. I was not within my body doing these things, if that makes sense. Like, I was not doing crazy things, but I was doing, I don't know, if it was something like, for example, telling my dad that I love him, for example, and that was something I was not doing because I didn't feel comfortable with it. And actually, it was his birthday, I remember that. And I called him and I told him that. And I think what it did is it healed a part of me, because it also healed a father wound that I had. And I mean, that's just one example of something that happened, but I remember, I remember like the steps I was taking. Like, for example, I went into my closet, like throwing out all my stuff. Like, I've thrown out so many things because I could really tell that there was a lot of old energy in my clothing and stuff. And I was like, oh, this feels like an old version of me. Or looking at that piece and being like, oh, like I had this and this experience with my ex-boyfriend wearing this thing. And every time I saw it, it reminded me of that time. So it automatically brought me back into my past version. So I really made the decision of like, fuck it, I'm just gonna give it all away, and I'm just gonna trust that in divine timing, I'm gonna have the resources to create myself in a new way, and have the resources to buy myself new clothes that are more aligned with me. Which, I mean, I'm still figuring out right now, to be honest, and everything feels like smushy and muddy, and I'm like, who am I? What kind of style am I? Like, and I mean, at the same time, trying to be gentle with myself and be like, dude, you don't have to have it figured out right now. Like, you don't have to figure out anything. Just wear what feels right now. And if it doesn't feel 110% aligned with who you are right now, but you don't have anything else yet, then maybe that's where you're at right now. You're not meant to have it yet. Because maybe like I'm going to make another jump, and like the things that I'm drawn to right now are maybe not something that's gonna stick for long, if that makes sense. So I've given away like honestly, I think Like, I'm not lying. Probably like 70 to like 65% of my stuff. Like, I've given everything away. And also, like, the apartment that I lived in, I sold all my furniture. Like, I sold everything because in my energy, I already knew that I'm going to need to be able to make extremely bold steps. Like, for example, that would look like moving to another country just randomly. Like, to be honest, like, I think that's actually what I've been preparing myself for, was to, whenever the time's right, being able to be like, okay, there's no furniture here that I'm attached to, there is no clothing that I need to ship around because I'm not attached to anything anymore. I'm just like, whatever. Like, even the things I'm wearing now, like, I love this what is it called, cardigan thing that I'm wearing, but at the same time, it's like I'm not attached to it. You know what I mean? If it's gone, if I would lose it tomorrow, it would be like, whatever. And in the past, that would have been a drama, like, I'm telling you. Like, not wanting to expose myself or whatever, but if I would have lost something that I felt attached to, like, in whatever way, that would have been a drama. But yeah, anyways. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, prepare myself. So I think sometimes we're having years or a year or a month or whatever where we're called to do like extremely bold steps. And I mean, we can argue throwing out your clothes is that bold of a step, but in my personal opinion, like how it felt, it was very bold from me. Like, just throwing out all these things, not knowing if I'm gonna be able to replace them or not. I was just like, old energy, it needs to leave, okay, good. And was very rational about it and just threw it all away, or like sold a part of it. But mainly this stuff, I just threw it all out. Like, it was just like, ugh, I cannot see it anymore, I can't wear it anymore, it has to go. And I think this is just like what I've been experiencing for myself, is that sometimes we don't understand things right now. And like, even right now for me, nothing makes sense. Like, I'm back at my parents' place. I moved back from Munich to my parents' home, and now I'm here. And now I'm like, okay, what's next? But I think also what we need to understand is sometimes we're at a place and we also don't know why. We just don't know why. It doesn't make sense to our mind, but it does make sense to our soul. And for me, how I can see that now is more like, because, for example, like, one of my goals is living at the beach. Like, that's just something I truly want. Living at the beach. Like, I just see myself there. I just see myself vibing at the beach, just living there, sitting in my Jeep, maybe my whatever future boyfriend sitting next to me, or a dog sitting next to me, I don't know. But me just cruising, like having, you know, like having a slow life, like not having a rush life or anything, like having a life where I get to pause and just, you know, like watch the waves, or, you know, just enjoy life and not always rush through life, not always rush through what I need to do next, what needs to be done next, and blah 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 blah. And for me personally, that's my experience living at the beach. But yeah, so where was I going with this? Now my ADHD is kicking in. Okay, so the thought was not important maybe. But yeah, just, oh, preparation. Oh, okay, I remember. So I think sometimes we're at a place where we don't know why things are happening. We would just need to trust. And right now, I trust that me not living at the beach is for my highest good. That currently is for my highest good, because wherever I am is always for my highest good. And I think when we anchor into that and truly believe it, this is when everything just flows. And like, now for me, for example, like my creative energy, all of a sudden it starts flowing again. I have more ideas what to create. I feel, of course, like right now I feel very safe and stable just being at my parents' place, not worrying about money too much, and just really leaning into creating my own job, creating my own career. And I think that's like my purpose of being here right now, for example. And I think this is where like true leaps of faith are coming in, and where, I mean, I don't like to use the term like being tested from the divine. Like, that's not something I believe in, that we get tested, but I think that we do need to show patience and faith. And when we do that and just really let things go and not try to attach ourselves too much to a person or like to a place or whatever we have envisioned for ourselves, and we just say, okay, like, divine, show me what you want to give me, show me what is for my highest good and where I am meant to be at, and just trust that whatever comes out of that is where you're meant to be right now. And yeah, like, not being too attached to a person, I think, is something I also needed to learn last year, like, in a very hard way, like in a really, really hard way, and I really ran against a wall. But yeah, I mean, I learned something from it. And the funny thing is, and that's something I've been learning too, is that sometimes we think when something specifically happens, and we have like all these horror scenarios, like, what if this happens, what if that happens, and blah da da da. And from my personal experience, like, sorry, that was a confirmation burp. You know what? Like, that's something I've been experiencing. It's like, if you want guidance, sometimes, just sometimes, when you feel like you need to burp in a situation, that's actually confirmation from the divine. I know it sounds odd and weird, but that's something I've been hearing a lot and also experiencing myself. So sorry for that. But I don't know, like, sometimes we have these like crazy scenarios in our head and we think like, oh my god, if that would happen, I will die or I would not survive this. And to be honest, like, with this specific person that I have attached myself to over the last year, like, in such insane ways, I would say, I think every horror scenario that I have envisioned in my mind became true. Every bit of it, every fucking bit of it. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, everything where you thought this could go wrong went wrong. And you know what? The funny thing is, I remember that so well. I laid in my bed and was thinking to myself, like, please, divine, don't do this. Like, if this is going to happen, I'm not gonna survive it. And you see me sitting here now. Like, all this stuff happened. And it actually made me stronger, because now, looking back to the situation, I'm like, yeah, if he would have been meant for me, it would have just worked out. That's just the truth. It would have worked out, everything would be fine, and I would not be in the place that I'm at right now. And I think this is where also, like, we need to learn to anchor ourselves into our own beliefs and see our own worth, because for me, it's like, my divine counterpart, like the person that's truly meant for me, is not gonna fuck around, is not gonna do stupid things and then be like, oh, I lost you, damn, now I'm realizing that I did want this, and then it's just coming back. No, he knows, he sees me, he knows the magic that I'm holding, and he thinks that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. And this is not some arrogant thing to say, to be honest. Like, that's after, when you go through a lot of heartbreaks, when you go through a lot of pain when it comes to dating and being in relationships and whatever, the way I have, I mean, it was all learning and I'm grateful for it and whatever, but at some point you realize that you are the love of your life, and that's just the truest thing ever. And the love you hold for yourself is the love that you receive as well. And that's why it's not arrogant to say that the person you're going to meet is going to see the magic in you and is going to see, like, this person is not perfect. Sorry. This person is not perfect, but it is truly everything that I always wished for and hoped for in a person. And I think, like, I've I had a really hard time believing that, and sometimes I still have a hard time believing it. And I think that's why I'm saying it now, to really encourage you to believe that. Like, anchor yourself into it. Like, truly anchor yourself into it, because if someone's having such an easy time letting you go, then that's just not the person you're meant to be with. And sometimes it's a really hard truth to realize, but it's just a fact. It is. Like, I don't know. I've been having, I really need to learn this the hard time this year, or last year, but yeah, that's just the way it is. And to really get yourself out of that a rabbit hole of like, oh my god, like I've given myself to someone and I allowed myself to love again and I allowed myself to feel again, and then running against a wall like that, I think, to be honest, can also be a blessing. Because for me, for example, it really made me realize that the person I met is not the person he truly was. You know what I mean? Because if he was the person he showed me, he wouldn't have done these things, and he wouldn't have interacted with me the way he did, and wouldn't have left the way he did. And that's where I'm like, it's good and it's okay that he's gone, because I know my worth now. With everything that happened, I know my worth now. I know who I am. I know what I want. And I know that I deserve someone that sees the magic in me. And if they don't, they don't. And if it will take time, it will take time. If it doesn't take any time, it doesn't take any time. Like, you never know how far away you're from something or not. Like, everything will come in divine timing and when it is meant to happen. And before that, you can do whatever you want, but it's just not gonna come when it's not time yet. And I think that's also the beautiful thing about like time itself, and the way that time really is just a construct and just concept. And I don't know, if you're aligning with it and you're aligned with it, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen in a week, could happen in a year, could happen in a month. It doesn't really matter. But a fact is, if someone is able to let you go in such an easy way and is able to just, I don't know, walk away in the way that they have, it's just not meant to be. And that's okay. Truly. Yeah. I think I don't have anything to add to that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And also, I heard something, and I think that's what I'm gonna finish it out with, is if God can take something away from you that you thought you could never lose, imagine what he could bring you, what you thought you could never find. And that's something I heard a week ago, and I cannot let go of it. I'm just like, wow, this is so good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my first episode. I think the whole point of this is, if you're going through a transformation, just lean into it, just let it flow. And yeah,